Let's see. If you will share the screen, we will get into what I want to talk about here real quick. So this actually broke yesterday. Yeah, that's when I read it. And I thought it'd be worth discussing. So there were a lot of different Marvel TV productions that had been announced, and I was curious what was going on with them. Like there was a Hellstrom show they were working on. There was like a Ghost Rider spinoff show out of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which looked pretty good. And there was some animated shows that were supposed to be in development too. And I hadn't heard anything about it for a little while. And so I started kind of, poking around the internet, and I came across this story on Deadline here. Basically, it just says that Marvel Television, as we've known it in the past decade, will soon be no more. With its slate dwindling over the past year and its head, Jeff Loeb, set to depart, the television-focused Marvel division will be phased out. The Marvel TV projects that are currently in production will continue, but any further development is being scrapped. As a result, a significant portion of the unit's staff are being laid off, which always sucks, sources said. The executives impacted are said to include Court Lane, Marcia Griffin, Mark Ambrose, Tom Lever, and Amy Carlson. And I'm not gonna sit here and just read the whole thing. You can definitely check it out over here on Deadline. But among the things to be noted, that includes the announced 4 animated series in the live-action Hellstrom for Hulu, the last season of ABC's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which will still be made. Other Marvel TV staffers are being reassigned, sources said. The decision has been to complete Marvel TV projects that are currently in production, but not continue with any further development. So I was curious how this was going to shake out, because when it was announced that Kevin Feige had all those. You remember I guess this kind of segues into streaming wars a little bit too, but how Kevin Feige had all those different, Disney Plus shows, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, such on and so forth. He had all those shows, and I was wondering, it's like, well, how is that going to work? Like, are there actually two kind of competing television production entities? Like, there's the Kevin Feige wing, and then there's like the other wing over here with Jeff Loeb. Because, I knew Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was winding down, but they still had shows like Runaways. They still had Cloak and Dagger, which Cloak and Dagger's also been canceled. And I had been seeing rumors about another season of Punisher on Netflix. And I was like, well, there's no way they're going to do that. Right. And so I was kind of looking for information, and I ran across this. So unfortunately, those of you hoping for another season of Punisher on Netflix, this story pretty much puts the nails in those coffin. There's not going to be another one. Basically, this entire division of Marvel TV is basically going away. And the only active TV productions, and that includes all the animated stuff too, apparently as well. Because there's actually, there's the What If show being produced for Disney Plus. So I think all of this stuff is just going to start rotating over to Disney Plus. There might be some shows that'll roll out, on, obviously Disney, ABC controlled channels, but from here, here and there. But basically any of the cool things that we've been hearing about that had been, in development, basically it's done. And as a part of this too, as the story relates, some Marvel staff or TV staffers are going to be reassigned, but it sounds like a lot of people, unfortunately, are going to lose their jobs as well. So,
It sounds like what's happened is that basically the movie division has taken over TV, and TV is going to be limited to Disney Plus. That's right. My take on it. It's basically, like you said, Kevin Feige, the Disney Plus team. He's using the movie people essentially to make his shows. That's why when they always used to do these big announcements of the big slate of all the new Marvel movies coming out. If you recall, the last time they did that, which I think was at D23, last time they did that, Kevin Feige was talking mostly about these TV shows. He was teasing about these movies. That's when we first heard about maybe Blade coming back and all this other stuff. But there were no dates on any of that stuff. The stuff that he was heavily promoting was actually the television shows for Disney Plus. So it seems to me that basically Marvel Studios has taken over all the television development. That's probably why you're seeing this happening. That's my take on it.
Right. So Yeah, so there's some pop culture news I thought was kind of relevant, and it answered some questions for me, and then probably some of our viewers or listeners, if you were curious what was going to be happening with a lot of the different things you'd either heard rumored about or things that had been previously announced. I think they're pretty much dead in the water. Um, and then on a side note, I don't have a particular article to reference, but on a side note, in addition to that, I had some different people asking me about Flash, the Flash show over at Warner Brothers. And as of right now, the Flash has been basically taken off of the schedule. Uh,
Really?
yeah,
I
some
hadn't
people have
heard
been.
that.
Yeah, it's basically been taken off of the schedule. This was kind of recent breaking stuff, and um, people have been asking me about it because at one point they were going to try and do something with Flashpoint, and then people were kind of asking me because I worked on Flashpoint Wonder Woman. It's like, do you think we'll see Flashpoint Wonder Woman in it? And there had been some rumors that they might do something with that. And, that'd be really cool because I might get to see my name on the big screen for 50 seconds or half a second or something. I was like, oh, that'd be really cool. But no, Flash has been taken off of the schedule. So I think that Flash movie is probably, I don't think there's anything going to be happening with it anymore. And by the time that something might happen with it, I think it's going to be a completely different, non-connected property now. I don't think the DC EU expanded universe or whatever they're calling it, I don't think that's going to exist as it has previously. But that's just conjecture and rumor on my part, though.
Well, I think definitely going through some changes there. There's no doubt about that. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that all pans out.